Hey, I'd just like to open and thank Chris for this opportunity. And the reason I came here was because of him, first and foremost. And like he said, our relationship from the past, and I trust in him and believe in him. And then secondly, or 1A and 1B is the commitment to baseball here. Just the commitment from the administration, the commitment from the fans, the commitment from you guys. This is impressive today. And that's the reason that I came over here, and I'm excited to get going.
Just your initial thoughts on, we're kind of asking him, but the pitching staff that you inherit.
Yeah, excitement. That's my initial thoughts. Lot of talent. Some guys coming back that have been there before and done it, and are ready to take the next step maybe into a leadership role and to get better at their craft than they were before. But also mix that with the influx of talent that Jake's done such a good job of bringing in here and keeping those guys together and getting them to campus. That it's going to be an exciting time this fall.
When you get everybody back in a few weeks, what's your initial thought? What are some things that you're going to try to do to start off with that group?
Well, the first thing is my style is I try to be a relationship guy. So I don't think anybody's going to get better and nobody's going to work for you unless they know you care about them. So my first thing right now is to develop the relationships with those guys, trying to reach out to them. It's a little scattered this summer because everybody's in different places. So it's calling and waiting on a return call and then trying to catch me, and then it's been a little scattered getting to know them, but that's really the first piece. I want those guys to understand that I care about them as a person first and foremost, and then we'll dive into the baseball stuff.
This team could really use bullpen depth the last couple of years. It seems like you've had some depth in your bullpens throughout your coaching career. How do you kind of develop that? How do you develop a 6-7 guy deep bullpen? Yeah,
it's a mentality, and I think the bullpen and the back end of the bullpen's probably the most important thing in college baseball, if not in the big leagues, but definitely in college baseball, where you got some guys that, and especially in this league with the crowds and how the momentum can change in the later innings, you got to have guys that are tough mentally on the backside. So that's what I start with. We have the talent, like I said, Jake's done a good job, and there's some pieces here already, but just I'll start with the mentality of the bullpen and what we want to try to do, and the attitude and the bulldog mentality we want to have when we go into the games in those late inning situations.
You've only got one starter returning, granted a good one, but still two more to fill in that rotation. What do you look for in a starting pitcher?
Well, most of the time, and they're guys that have to be able to pitch off of their fastball, and guys that you have to have an out pitch, but I think you have to be able to eat up those innings with fastballs and fastball command. So I will start there with the starting pitchers and see who can do that the best. That's usually the best way to eat up innings and get yourself to the bullpen in the middle of the late innings.
What's your excitement level about potentially adding 2 first-round arms to your staff?
It's unbelievable when you think about it. It's through the roof. Our excitement level's through the roof, and we don't want to put too much pressure on those guys. Like Chris said, we've got some guys coming back that are veterans that have done it before, but it's certainly going to be fun to have that kind of talent, and hopefully those guys are going to jump in and contribute immediately.
Have you had any conversations with Carter so far?
We have. We've talked to him, and I think Chris did a good job of kind of explaining where he was with everything. I know what I did personally was tell him the reason that I came, and again, my trust in Chris and getting to know Jake, how good a person he is, and all the things I said in my opening statement, just the commitment here. I can't imagine a better situation for 18 to 21-year-old to be than be a baseball player and to be at Mississippi State.
How do you develop velocity?
I think there's a variety of ways of doing that, but there's a weight room piece. There's a strength component that goes into it. There's a rep piece, just making sure that you are doing enough reps to take your arm out for a spin often enough. But really, you develop velocity like you develop anything else. You got to measure it. You measure it, and then you trial and error, and then you measure it again and see what works for you. And it can be different things that work for you. Like I said, it could be the weight room, it could be a throwing program. So every guy's different, but I think the big key when you're trying to develop anything is measuring and guys knowing where they stand, and then setting goals and trying to jump over those goals, and then setting new goals and then trying to jump over those goals.
You mentioned the weight room piece of it. I talked to former players of yours that said you were involved in that. Travis Orby, actually said you were pretty involved in
Sure.
the strength and conditioning aspect of it. What is your involvement in that piece when it comes to your pitchers?
Well, I try to work closely with the strength and conditioning coach. I mean, he's got a tough job that and we have to work together because we have to manage not only the strength part of it, but we have to blend the throwing schedules with when they lift and when's the right time to lift and how much recovery time. So that's the biggest part I feel like that I'm involved in is letting them know when I want them to throw and how I want them to be ready to throw. And we've got a great strength coach here. I know that Coach Lamonis probably will talk to you guys about, but I'll work closely with him, and we'll have a great relationship. But I feel like that's myself, the strength coach, and the trainer have to talk constantly to make sure that we're doing the right thing for the pitchers.